Welcome to one more edition of Politics and Running. Berto Willis, your host. I'm here with the one and only Carli Mosier, with a board member of ROADwomen, and of course, another guest that's always here with us, John Cotter. John, how you doing? Hey, folks, let me tell you something. This guy is great. He flies those big things that fly all through the world, but he's also the president of Humble Area Democrats. Anybody that can fly those big birds and come down here and be president of Humble Area Democrats, knowing how we have to put all these cats together, that's the real thing. Guys, welcome aboard. How you guys doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
Hey, we're fighting, Carli. But you know what's most important, Carli? You are fighting, and you are going to make a difference with what's going on. And if the rest of the country follows your lead, think about what we are going to do for 2020. So, Carli, tell us a little bit about ROADwomen, first of all, and tell us a little bit about what it is that you guys are doing to make a difference in this election.
Absolutely. ROADwomen is the oldest women-targeted Democratic club in the entire area of Harris County, and we are dedicated to helping Democrats up and down the ballot, specifically Democrats that are committed to pro-choice legislation. We are also this year targeting women with Harris County Democratic Party. We are targeting first-time newly registered voters and first-time women voters. And we are really just committed to the cause and making sure that women are heard up and down the ballot, but also all throughout our community, whether you live in the city or the suburbs.
Now, I think you also mentioned to me that there's sort of a duality with something that you're working with. I think, you're working something with a artist or something like that?
Yes, absolutely. We are actually doing this fantastic fundraiser. It's different than anything that we've ever done, than most clubs have ever done, actually. And we are doing a film premiere from a film called Queen of Cups by Sharon Ferranti, who was actually a former teacher of mine at the High School for the Performing and Visual Arts here in Houston. She is a member of the LGBT community, and she did this beautiful film that talks about bigotry in small town Texas, done with local artists, shot locally around Houston. Like, you'll see the Heights in there, and also like Brenham and small towns around there for the small town feel. So we're going to do that on September 13th, September 25th. We have tickets for $20.20. You will not be able to see this movie anywhere else, and we are super, super excited that Sharon has committed to allowing us to have this premiere before it goes to distribution nationwide. So
nationwide. Well, we're going to have to come back to that, Carli. But John, I sit down here behind this camera and this stuff, and as we're doing our blogging and all of that, and I'm always looking for material, and I'm looking at what you guys have accomplished here in Humble under your leadership and the leadership of a lot of other hard workers around here. Tell me what you guys been doing in Humble, Texas, because I think we need to, and tell it to me not only in a local form, John. Tell me about it, because if you guys are the template for what a lot of other counties need to be, areas and counties need to be doing.
Yeah, well, I can't take credit. We've got a great team at Humble Area Democrats, and they're out there just hitting the pavement, being safe in this COVID environment. But the big thing that we've been working on for the past 5 weeks is a voter registration drive, and it's targeting apartment complexes around northern Harris County, primarily in Natalie Hurtado's district where she's running, which also overlays with Seema Lajavardian's CD2 seat. Most of these apartment complexes lean Democratic, and we targeted 80 different complexes.
80
complexes, 19,800 voter registration cards were placed on the doors of these complexes.
Wow. Now, let me ask you something. When you do that, when you go out there and put these things out, is there some sort of follow-up to make sure that you see that increase in registration in the area? I know you probably can't do it on a per-person basis, but do you do something to kind of see what kind of registrations are out of the area?
Yeah, normally what we did, when we were doing the research on the complexes and everything, you could see the number of registered voters in each precinct. And so when you target the apartment complexes, now we can go back after the election and see how many registered voters. And, it won't be all the people that we reached in the lit drop, but if you have a percentage increase, you have a good feeling that it had something to do with it.
Absolutely. You know what is great? I was listening to some of the news earlier today, and I found out that Texas has a huge increase in people registering to vote. Of course, we know that's attributed to the work that both of you are doing, but John, I've been singing for a long time that we're going to turn Texas blue, man. Yep. This is going to happen sooner than later. And I think it's going to be a shocker this election, because I think all the stars are aligned to do it if we do it. I hear a lot of people that are constantly scared, and it gets me upset. They're scared about this election. I am not scared. And you know why I'm not scared?
Why is that?
Because there are guys like you I see doing stuff. And I'm not trying to, that is not about being nice or anything like that. I mean, when you look around the country and you see the dedication with what you guys are doing. I mean, I follow you guys on Facebook, and I'm looking, and just on Facebook, I know you're other places, just on Facebook, and I'm like, damn, people have masks on, we are in a pandemic, and you guys are out there. It takes some oomph to do that. Tell me about that, Carli. It takes some oomph.
It does. And, we're actually having to figure out this new way of organizing during this time of COVID and pandemics. And, people are scared to vote by mail. They're scared for everything. But then you see wonderful volunteers that are going out there, masking up and doing these lit drops, which are huge. It's a big deal. The people that are actually doing the work aren't just the leadership in these clubs. They're the members of these clubs. They're the people that we're reaching out that have never done anything before politically in their life. And they are so motivated and so excited about the possibility that Texas could once again have Democratic leadership in the House and the Senate and the governor's mansion. It's been a minute since we've had a Democratic governor here in Texas, and I think we're all kind of looking forward to that day. But we are focusing now so much on these 17 House seats. To bring us to where we're probably going to end up going, tomorrow we will start this series of forums that we're going to dedicate to the 17 most flippable House seats in the Texas legislature. And we have a guest, Ann Johnson, who will be one of our first guests tomorrow night. And I have seen people out that have never block walked in their life. And they are masking up and getting out there and taking the risk because they understand that this is literally the most important and imperative election of our lifetime.
Absolutely. John, tell me a little bit more about all these, what do you call them, forums that you're going to have? How are you going to use these forums to try to get people to come into the fold, and not only come into the fold, but actually go to the polls?
Well, this is actually a continuation of the series, the 2020 Democratic runoff forums we had earlier this year. And those were very successful, and we had a good outreach in the community. We decided to expand it to a statewide audience. So that's why we targeted those 17 House races. All of those in 2018 were within 10 points, which makes them considered flippable. One of them was 47 votes.
I heard about, I think you mentioned that before. Which one was that? I forgot.
Oh, you're going to put me on the spot. It's a
No, I'm not going to put you on the spot. No, okay, forget that I asked you that question, because
it's okay.
there are so many, there's so much going on right now. We can't, look, let me tell you, the other day somebody said, hey, which district are you in? I know I'm in CD2. And I'm like, are we talking state district? Are we talking federal district? What are we talking about? But I think you guys see why I'm not scared. First of all, what Carli just said, Carli said, people that have never blocked walk with me before, people have never done this before, they're out there. Yeah. Let me tell you something. I tell the people on the show, right? I say, look, I don't care what you guys are saying now. We're going to have a landslide. So I have my right wing brothers and sisters on the show, right? They're like, I'm going to remember to tell you that, Egberto. I'm like, yes, please do, because you know what? I'm speaking on it. You know what I mean? We are having a landslide because there are guys like you out there. So we are having a landslide, and we need to start speaking it and remembering to tell the people that, hey, look, you know why we're going to have a landslide? Because you're going to go out there and vote. You're going to go out there and vote. You're going to go out there and vote, and you're going to go out there and vote. Anyhow, tell me a little bit more about what you have planned for the future, the forums, and all that kind of stuff. Carli.
Well, we are, as we said, dedicated to the 17 most livable house seats. We're going to do 2 or 3 guests each night through October 15th. We will do them every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday at 7 p.m. We will moderate it in such a way that we have Jaime Rodriguez as my co-moderator. So the two of us will have an hour of moderated discussion between us and those 3 candidates or 2 candidates that are with us that evening. And then we will open up the floor to live viewers. And the point is to make sure that each night we have several districts covered and not just all in one area, because we want to make sure that, as we were discussing earlier, that this is a nationwide message that we're getting across, that people see nationally, statewide, that we are committed to having real substantive discussions about the issues that are facing all of us today. And to have everybody from one area would be a disservice to the state as a whole when we're trying to make a real committed, concerted effort to bring all Texans together, particularly Democrats, to get just motivated and have this positive energy to go out and vote for these wonderful candidates because they know them now. They don't just see a name and a Democrat label. They know them. And that's really what we want to bring to our viewers. And hopefully we will have people that are more red, conservative leaning, that will be impressed and vote for these candidates on election day or on early voting day, which begins October 13th.
I am pretty sure we'll have a lot. And since you brought that up, this is also going to be played on KPFT. So I need to say that, of course, Republicans, there's an open door policy.
Absolutely.
The airwaves belong to everybody, but you have to ask. Anyway, John, tell me, how can people start putting on their schedule? Carli gave us that it's 7 o'clock, 3 days a week. Now, how can they find you? How can they make sure that they're there? And then how can they find the rebroadcast or the podcast or all that sort of stuff?
So it's going to be live streamed on our Facebook page, and it's Blue Outpost Texas. So Blue Outpost TX. Find us on Facebook, and we're also on Twitter under the same handle. And you can watch those every evening, the Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, starting tomorrow night. So we're 24 hours away. And like Carli said, the first hour, she and Jaime will moderate their own questions for the candidates, but then all of our viewers will have the opportunity to submit questions. So things that are important to the public all across the state of Texas will have a chance to share those questions and get those answers from those candidates so the people can know and understand what they're all about and what they do for us when they get to Congress.
So, John, will the platform where they ask questions be the comments under Facebook, or are you having it on YouTube as well, or just Facebook this time?
We're working on a YouTube link.
Okay.
But for Facebook, for sure.
Facebook, for sure.
You should be able to find our YouTube channel, Blue Outpost TX, as well. It's a little bit, we're trying to build our following. So like, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Well, I know you guys are going to give me information that I can blog it as well so that we can put it out there, put it on, and also make sure it's all on the Kingwood area Democrats and every other Democratic site, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, okay, guys, what did I not ask you that you want to go ahead and tell us about going forward?
Don't be terrified to vote. Be healthy, be safe, mask up, wash your hands, but make sure that you get out to vote. Make sure you take 5 people with you to vote. Make sure every person that you know that's turning 18 before Election Day is registered to vote. Make sure that their addresses are correct. Make sure everybody goes to vote. I had someone ask me last night how they could vote by mail. Unfortunately, because of the way that Texas legislature has handled our voting by mail, we are unable to do it without an excuse. This person doesn't have an excuse, so we came up with a plan together. So go online, find your local, your county clerks. Ours is Harris County Clerks, harrisvotes.com. Go make your voting plan. Find the voting locations, find the times, make sure that you are prepared and you dedicate yourself, hopefully, if you're able, that day to vote in person and make sure that your voice is heard. That is the biggest thing that we can all do, is to get out and vote and encourage every single other person that we know to go vote.
Carli, I want to tell you something. That is such an important message, because I mean, COVID is here, COVID is real, but what you just said is so important. You can mask up, you can have your hand sanitizer, you can go in there, do your vote and do it in a safe manner. You can actually do it in person. You don't have to do it by mail. You can do it in person. Just mask up and have your cleaner there. So thank you for actually saying that, because I think I may be wrong here, John. I don't know. Y'all tell me. But I think a lot of the what's going on right now is that people want to make this mail-in vote versus make it sort of more complex than it is, when you're going to go for 30 minutes max to go vote. And leave where you're not going to be in anywhere place if you're masked up correctly to get infected. So either way should work. Am I right, John?
Either way should work. I mean, if somebody wants to vote by mail, I mean, I wish Texas was easier so everybody could, if that was the choice they wanted. But I'm speaking from Harris County. Our county clerk has done a fantastic job, him and his team, preparing the sites and finding the sites. One of the big things, they were finding locations with more square footage, so they could spread the machines further apart, so people could be comfortable maintaining their distance from the other voters. And they've increased the hours at the voting locations, and they're even going to have one that's 24 hours. They're going to do that. So they're doing things to make it easier to vote for everybody. So hopefully we won't have those long lines and everybody be packed in at the same place.
I think that's a good
and of
chance.
Course, all of this ties back into vote for these Texas House seats so that we can get Democrats in that can change the law, that can make it easier for all of us to vote by mail. We want a state legislature that represents every Texan so that we can all vote by mail safely and effectively and be counted and heard. And yes, our county clerk is doing great. And I would be remiss if I didn't say that Tanisha Hudspeth is running for the Harris County Clerk's office and is fantastic, is working on this crew with Chris Hollins right now. I would plead, just vote for every Democrat, but Tanisha's fantastic, and she will carry on the good work that the county clerk's doing.
Carli Mosier, ROADwomen, board member of ROADwomen, and John Cotter, the president of Humble Area Democrats. Look, you guys are great. Thank you so kindly for having been on Politics Done Right, and keep up the great work, because you guys make us know that we are going to do the right thing.
And Egberto, thank you so much for all that you do, because clearly in a time of COVID, when we're sitting and having to watch things at home and not be out in public and not organizing, your program is really bringing information to people that is imperative, and it's brought to people in a way that's different and a greater conversation starter. So thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you very much. And again, this has been Politics Done Right. Thank you, guys. I'm Egberto Willies, host of Politics Done Right, an independent news program. I post several news videos of interest every day. I ask you so kindly to subscribe to my channel, and please leave me some comments. Thank you very much.